The Atom Audio T8V, Kali LP6, Yamaha HS5, JBL 305 PMK2, and Mackie CR5BT are the most popular studio monitors under 500 of 2025. But which is the absolute best? We are going to compare them to each other and score them in various categories, with some categories holding more weight than others. In the end, we'll decide which is the best one based on the final score, and we will declare the absolute winner. Let's dive in. First, we are going to compare them on the sound accuracy category, which has a multiplier of 2. The Atom Audio T8V delivers impressively powerful and clear sound with a balanced, tight response across the spectrum, especially in its punchy and warm bass, which means you likely will not need a subwoofer. Although I did find the ribbon tweeter makes the highs a bit sharp, and the mids feel slightly scooped compared to the others, which is why I am giving it a 9.2 out of 10. Coming in next, the Kali LP6 offers phenomenal performance for its budget price with incredibly accurate on- and off-axis response that makes for a great listening experience. But I noticed some audible hiss when I got up close and resonances around 1 kHz that required a bit of equalization to flatten out, earning it an 8.7 out of 10. The Yamaha HS5 is known for being brutally honest and precise, and I found its tight upper bass and incredibly clear mid-range really helped highlight problems in my mix better than the others. But the bass rolls off so early that you absolutely need a subwoofer, and a noticeable peak at 1 kHz makes some vocals feel a bit too forward for my taste, so it gets an 8.2 out of 10. For a speaker that has become a studio staple, the JBL 305P MK2 really impressed me with its exceptionally neutral and clear sound that brings out every single detail in a mix. And its famous waveguide creates a super wide sweet spot that feels more forgiving than the Yamahas, delivering a detailed and accurate stereo image with almost no audible distortion, making it a top contender here with a 9.5 out of 10. Finally, the Mackie CR5BT provides a really satisfying and balanced sound for its price, with tight bass and warm mids. But I found it leans more towards a fun, casual listening experience with its boosted low end rather than the flat, neutral response I need for critical mixing. And it just does not have the refinement or pinpoint accuracy of the JBL or Atom monitors, which is why it scores a 7.5 out of 10. Overall, the JBL 305P MK2 takes the win in this category with a score of 9.5 out of 10 because it delivers the most neutral, clear, and detailed sound with an incredibly wide and forgiving sweet spot. Next, we are going to compare them on the build quality category, which has a multiplier of 1.5x. The Atom Audio T8V feels incredibly solid and well constructed, as you would expect from a German manufacturer, giving you the confidence that it could probably survive a fall better than whatever it hits, although its sheer size and weight at nearly 10 kilograms can be a bit much for smaller studio spaces. For its robust, professional-feeling chassis, I give it a 9.2 out of 10. I found the Kali LP6 B2 to be surprisingly well made for its price, with a solid, scratch-resistant MDF cabinet and high-quality components inside. But the vinyl wrapping, while neat, does feel like a budget choice that could peel in a humid environment if you're not careful. Considering its affordability, the build earns a solid 8.5 out of 10. The Yamaha HS5 carries that iconic, almost legendary studio look, and it feels incredibly durable with a flawless, textured vinyl-coated MDF cabinet that hides dust well, though the visible screws and plastic rings around the drivers, while part of the design, don't feel quite as premium as the rest of the build. It's a classic for a reason and gets a 9.5 out of 10. Holding the JBL 305P MK2, it has a surprisingly solid and hefty feel for a budget monitor, with knobs and inputs that feel secure. But I did notice a definite and annoying buzzing sound coming from the metal rear part of the cabinet, which points to some compromises in the enclosure design. This brings its score down to 7.5 out of 10. Finally, the Mackie CR5BT offers an excellent all-wood cabinet for its low price, which feels robust enough to handle minor bumps. But from my experience with older Mackie gear, long-term longevity can sometimes be a concern, even though the quality has improved dramatically over the years. For its class, it scores a respectable 7.0 out of 10. With its durable, time-tested construction and flawless finish, the Yamaha HS5 takes the win here with a score of 9.5 for delivering a build that inspires confidence for years of studio use. Next, we are going to compare them on the size and design category, which has a multiplier of 1.5. The imposing Atom Audio T8V immediately makes its presence known with an authoritative, squared-off design and hefty 9.8 kilogram weight that demands a lot of desk space, which is a notable downside if your room is small. Though its build quality feels exceptionally solid for an affordable monitor, earning it a 6.5 out of 10. Next up, the Kali LP6 feels a bit more manageable than the T8V, but is still quite large and heavy at over 7 kilograms, with an unfussy, functional design using a particle board cabinet that looks a little basic, although its gently contoured waveguide is a smart and effective touch for improving the sweet spot, leading me to a score of 7.5 out of 10. The Yamaha HS5 is a true classic, and in my hands, I can feel the flawless build quality of its vinyl-coated MDF cabinet, while its iconic white 5-inch woofer and compact dimensions of 170 by 285 by 222 millimeters make it a perfect fit for almost any studio space without sacrificing that professional look, which is why I'm giving it a 9.2 out of 10. Moving on, the JBL 305P MK2 strikes a great balance, feeling noticeably lighter than the Kali at about 4.5 kilograms, and its modern, sculpted look is defined by the large image control waveguide, all housed in a solid, medium-density fiberboard case that feels durable and looks great on a desk, easily scoring an 8.8 out of 10. Finally, the Mackie CR5BT impresses with its sleek, refined appearance and signature green accents, which I think is the most stylish design in the CR series yet, but the rear-facing baseport is a practical drawback that complicates placement against a wall, bringing its final score to an 8.2 out of 10. With its flawless professional-grade build, iconic studio aesthetic, and perfectly compact size, the Yamaha HS5 takes the win here with a score of 9.2. Next, we are going to compare them on the connectivity options category, which has a multiplier of 2x. The Atom Audio T8V provides the essential connections with both a balanced XLR and an unbalanced RCA input that you select with a rear panel switch. But I found the lack of a 1/4-inch TRS input a bit restrictive when trying to quickly plug in different pieces of my equipment, which limits its overall flexibility and earns it a 7.0 out of 10. The Kali LP6 is a definite step up, giving you balanced XLR, balanced TRS, and an unbalanced RCA input which covered almost any wired scenario I could throw at it, though I did have to fiddle with a dip switch on the back to enable the RCA connection. So for its strong wired versatility, it gets a 9.0 out of 10. With the Yamaha HS5, you get the professional standard of balanced XLR and 1/4-inch TRS phone jack inputs that cleverly accept both balanced or unbalanced signals, which is great for studio interfaces. However, I noticed the absence of a direct RCA or auxiliary input means you will always need an adapter for consumer devices, landing at a score of 8.5 out of 10. Similarly, the JBL 305P MK2 offers flexible and professional options with its balanced XLR and 1/4-inch TRS inputs, which is perfect for an audio interface, but I found it equally inconvenient for connecting directly to my laptop or phone without using an adapter or a full interface setup, so it scores an 8.0 out of 10. Finally, the Mackie CR5BT is simply in another league, providing not just TRS, RCA, and 3.5mm inputs, but also wireless Bluetooth streaming and a very convenient front panel headphone output, which made it incredibly easy to switch between my focused studio work and just casually listening from my phone, easily making it the most connected speaker here, and earning it a 9.7 out of 10. When it comes to pure connectivity, the Mackie CR5B takes the win with a score of 9.7 out of 10 because it provides by far the widest range of inputs, including the game-changing addition of Bluetooth for wireless streaming. Finally, we are going to compare them on the value for money category, which has a multiplier of 3. The Atom Audio T8V brings the power of an 8-inch woofer and a UART ribbon tweeter to a surprisingly affordable price point, offering a deep bass response down to 33 Hz that's perfect for bass-heavy tracks, although its massive size at 400 by 250 millimeters and a weight of 9.8 kilograms means you'll need a seriously large desk to accommodate them, giving it a score of 8.2 out of 10. I was honestly shocked by the Kali LP6, which is an absolute knockout for the money, providing balanced inputs, boundary EQ settings to adjust for your room, and a huge soundstage from its imaging waveguide. And while it isn't magnetically shielded, it punches so far above its weight that it earns a 9.1 out of 10. As an industry workhorse, the Yamaha HS5 provides that brutally honest and flat frequency response that producers have relied on for years, which is fantastic for critical mixing decisions, but its 5-inch woofer struggles to reproduce the deep low end that the Atom or Kali can, meaning you almost have to factor in the price of a subwoofer for a full picture. So for value, it gets a 7.5 out of 10. I have to say, the JBL 305P MK2 delivers a listening experience that feels like it should cost 3 times as much, with its patented image control waveguide creating an incredibly wide sweet spot, and its dual integrated custom Class D amplifiers providing clean power. And while the build is mostly plastic, the sheer audio performance you get for such a low price is just astonishing, easily scoring a 9.6 out of 10. Finally, the Mackie CR5BT is the odd one out, offering fantastic convenience with its front panel volume knob and built-in Bluetooth, making it great for gaming or just listening to music from your phone. But these consumer-friendly features come at the cost of pure audio accuracy, and it suffers from a weaker sub-bass without a subwoofer, making it less of a studio tool and more of a multimedia speaker, which is why it gets a 6.8 out of 10. With its combination of patented pro-level technology and an almost impossibly low price point, the JBL 305P MK2 is the undeniable winner here with 9.6 points, delivering performance that truly enhances your mix without emptying your wallet. The results of our comparison show each product shines in its own way, but the JBL 305P MK2 stands out with its score of 88.25. This speaker delivers an unparalleled combination of fairness in sound reproduction, detailed clarity, and a wide sweet spot, making it a must-have for any serious audio professional or enthusiast. My experience with the JBL 305P MK2 was nothing short of impressive. It felt like I was discovering new elements in tracks I thought I knew inside and out. It's a remarkable piece of audio engineering that offers superb value for money. As for the other contenders, each one has its merits. The Kali LP6 came in close with an impressive score of 86.7, showcasing fantastic soundstage and connectivity options, making it a great budget-friendly choice. The Yamaha HS5 follows with a score of 83.95, living up to its reputation for precise, honest sound. The Atom Audio T8V scored 80.55, boasting robust build quality and powerful bass response for those with larger studios. Lastly, the Mackie CR5BT, scoring 77.6, is highly versatile and offers excellent connectivity, though it leans more towards casual listening. Each of these models holds its own niche, but the JBL 305P MK2 takes the crown for overall performance.